good. Beef ribs, sticky beef and food, and chips and gravy and... You can smell. Got to stop the smell. Doctor, got to stop the smell. Got to stink.
Joe? Is that you? Oh my God. Joe, I mean, it's been so long.
Now isn't that funny? Isn't that just the best thing of all? Master of disguise. Stuck. Looking like that old static yonder.
Are you okay? How have you been?
Me? I'm fine. Can't you see? I'm hilarious. I'm splitting my sides. I'm the funniest thing in the whole wide world.
Okay, glad to hear it, man. You still want to do that review that we talked about?
Do I want to do that review? Do I? Do I?
Do you?
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Okay. Wait up!
There is very much a tripod in my way. Do you mind if we use the tripod?
No, because I think it's propping up a lot of other things.
Oh, it is. That's okay, we'll make do.
Hello. It's way too cramped in this Doctor Who setup
hate
these
this.
days.
I hate this.
You can move back a bit more now. I've moved the tin.
Oh, look at you.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome
Welcome your faces.
to the end of time
Itself.
I am Rassilon.
Who spits everywhere at
All
every
the
time
time.
for victory. That's
This-
probably
this-
not the intro you were hoping this video to be,
This is
but
what you've chosen to do with your time.
you've clicked on this video. Why? Let's talk about that.
This is the
Why have
psych
you made that decision?
evaluation. How does that make you feel?
Welcome to this review of
Is that what we're
Docky Who.
calling it? Okay.
Yes.
This review of Docky Who. Thumbnail, come on.
No, no, we're not doing that. I'm regenerating, I promise.
Yes.
I'm not enjoying it. But
Yeah, you should go
to the
down.
review of End of
You
Time.
should go down, and then I should pop up, and you've regenerated into me. You know.
No.
Well,
Still got legs. Right.
that's on
Okay.
me.
The End of Time.
No, I'm still not ginger.
You know that Matt Smith actually got shit for saying I'm still not ginger. You know,
Why?
because people didn't watch the Christmas Invasion. They thought it was derogatory against gingers, like he was glad he was not ginger or something.
It was the way, the tone of voice.
Oh,
It
I'm
could've
still
been
not ginger.
Yeah.
And it's like people took it
could've
that way. It's
been
like, well, fuck you then.
Anger
Gingers aren't
or
that bad.
relief, yeah.
So yeah, he got sauce for that back in the day.
Wow.
Poor Matt Smith.
That
Great
actually
first
shocked
impression.
me.
And you know what I will say before we get into the episode itself? This episode doesn't put Matt Smith off to a good start with Tennant talking about how regeneration is like death to him.
I like that
Right?
bit, to be
No,
fair.
I enjoy it as a concept, but it basically
Gonna
doesn't
move.
leave Matt Smith on the right foot.
No.
You know, because it basically says whoever the next one is, he's not David Tennant. You know.
Yeah, well,
So
we've
it kind of-
we've all seen the darker sides of Tenant worship. So let's not go into that, shall we?
But also, Matt Smith has ended up being almost more popular than Tennant in
I
some
fucking
circles.
love Matt Smith.
I do too.
I love
think
the
he's
way he
great.
feels like an old person that's
In a young man's
trying to
body.
be young on purpose just to deal with the trauma. You know.
I agree. But Tennant does that in some ways too, but Matt Smith to better effect. But also,
Absolutely.
Tennant has all other cool stuff going on in his era, which we'll talk about in this episode here. So, was that a fart?
What man?
Oh, it was a tin. I really thought that you just fucking ripped
Right.
ass there.
I would be holding
thank
it
God
in
the
this
window's
environment. Yeah. That won't save us.
No. So yeah, we're going to talk about the End of Time today. First of all,
Can't
what are
come
your
soon enough.
what are your thoughts on it overall?
I love it. Always did.
Yeah?
I saw it when it
It's
first
so
came out.
campy and like cheesy, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's like
When
it's
I rewatched it
it's got
last
a
week.
slapstick nature
It's
to
so
it.
funny you say that.
Like when you see like the master jump up and down, it's like how does that boy do that?
when I when I rewatched it last week, Maddie came in while I was watching the scene. No, it wasn't.
I love that bit where he goes, dinner time! And he just jumps in the air, and I'm like, how does he do that? I love it.
I don't know, regeneration or something.
Yeah.
Stop asking. No, she
It's great. I love
she
it.
came in during the scene where it was where David Tennant was. I think he was talking to the Vinvoce, not the Zocchi.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't get them
Don't get them mixed
confused.
up.
That's racist.
And and she was like, "It's so camp.
It's so
It's
great.
so
though.
cheesy." And I was like, "Yep,
Shimmer! I love that bit.
that's funny."
Sorry, what's a shimmer?
Wait, hang on. I've got a prop.
Shimmer!
Oh, no batteries. Shimmer. Compensating.
For what generations of the lottery? Stop!
Regeneration,
You're
it's
such
a-
a child. You're
Yes.
such a fucking
Regeneration
child.
is a lottery.
It is so campy and silly, but it's
Sonic
so
Pen!
Bro,
Sorry.
fucking chill, okay? We should record these reviews with you in a different room because there's too many distractions around here for your ADD brain to comprehend. Like, shiny thing, another one.
You have 2 of Tennant's new one.
I know.
Why? Because you know it'll become rare someday and you can sell
Oh,
one.
you know, I actually have 3. I actually have 3.
Oh, it's weird. Oh.
What the fuck are you on about? Oh,
K9.
So, what do you think of the end of time?
Can't come soon enough. No, it's really good. I loved it. I get why some people have problems with it, but
If people-
I
I mean, if-
disagree.
If people take
Respectfully.
Doctor Who so seriously, they can't have a bit of mindless fun and just turn their brain off
Then
and watch
why
this.
are you watching it?
Exactly. There are sillier episodes than this one that have happened, and there will be sillier ones to come after it. But yeah, it's definitely not my favourite John Sim episode. It's probably my least favourite from his Master.
I like him. I like him as this version of the Master. It shows
I like him
negative
way
growth.
more in the Capaldi one, personally. I think he's way more
That I'd
classic
agree with.
like.
That I'd agree with. It feels like a continuation of the original Master. But that's why I like it. Shows growth. You know.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think the feral side of John Sim is fun to explore here. I think I did explore enough in the Utopia Sound of Drums story in series 3, right? I think it works a better effect there because he seemed way more composed whilst also being
insane.
unhinged. Yeah, exactly.
He
I think
seemed
there was
like a
better
psychopath.
balance.
Yeah.
Felt like a better balance in that one than in this one.
Now he just feels like some kind of tortured demon.
Well, that's exactly what it is, especially when he phases a skeleton or something, and then
I don't
he
know.
savages
I don't
food
know.
and he's like,
Regeneration or something. Might have been nice if they expanded on
Oh,
it.
do you know, I realised how much cheese was in this story when I was watching the opening bit where it's like, the secret books of Saxon, and they're like, boy, double bubble, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble, and and Lucy Saxon is like, what the fuck is happening here?
We also know about the books of Saxon. Oh, God.
Yeah, it was just so much.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they brought him back. That was so bad.
That was really dumb.
Too much stuff.
You have too much fidgeting.
Yeah, bringing him back, they could have done it in a much more sci-fi appropriate way. Instead,
Yeah.
they decided to go, even the Carrier Knights were less classic witchy than
Yeah,
this
and
scene.
this.
You know?
It was very, very goofy. It didn't really work for me, this bit. But I enjoyed the opening parts, like in part 1, where Tennant is like hunting for the Master.
I
and
like
the
that.
Master is equally hunting
King
for
of the
him.
Wasteland.
Yeah. I enjoy the confrontation as well.
Sorry.
Stinking fucking He's so fucking strange. It's
I love to
Break
see
off
it.
that meat, it's mine, it's mine.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I like the way that paid to the fact that he was dying and he needed energy. And,
Yeah, and it's not too dissimilar, his performance here, to what's the guy's name who plays the Master in the TV movie? It's not dreadfully dissimilar from that performance in some ways.
And
You
he
get
was the primary
moments of being feral
Yeah, and
in
he
some
was...
cases there. So he was the one to follow chronologically until Big Finish had something to say about adding
Oh, did they?
incarnate. Yeah,
God.
added tons.
Because he would
yeah.
have been the last one before Yana, and then
That's right.
onto John Sim.
Yeah, and we'll talk,
Saxon.
I mean, Jan is a great character, but that's a different story. But
Yeah.
also fucking love Bernard Cribbins. Seeing him back
man.
every moment, I wanted to soak in every fucking scene he was in. The stuff with him on the bus with his old codger mates.
I liked that.
I love that too. It was great. And then
Well, people have spent years trying to find me. How'd you do in an afternoon? Well, so and so knew so and so.
Yeah, it was great.
And that woman from Bingo knew
and
this
then,
guy.
And then Minnie from the team like literally groped the doctor.
Yeah, that's
I'm just like,
If that was Jodie's doctor, there'd be an uproar. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Sexual abuse is not okay, no matter the gender. Just a point worth mentioning. Either that or it's harmless fun. Make up your mind, but don't be,
don't be picky.
At least know what you're pissed off about before you get pissed off about it. Yeah. But anyway, she was.
She was funny. She was so
her.
funny. I love that we got to see Sylvia, and also the great running aroundy stuff where they were avoiding Donna, and Donna's in the house like. Bit old for hide and seek. I loved that stuff, and watching the end of time like really reminds me of how lovely and warm and bubbly it is to watch RTD Who, because when you visit like a companion's family, it feels really just inviting.
It feels grounded. It feels
lived in. It actually feels like they're real people.
Well, that's because he decided to ground his series in the now. And I don't just mean represent it as the present day. I mean, he actually...
It feels
built that.
Real.
It feels visceral. It feels like he just went into someone's home and suddenly the doctor's there. And I think that makes it feel more real.
It. Especially in Donna's house in this story. And you see... what's his name? What's her missus's name? What's her Mr.'s name?
Mr. Temple.
Oh,
Sean Temple.
That's it, Sean. Sorry. He's lovely as well. Nothing bad to say about him as a character. A bit underused in this one, but they rectify that in the 60th
Spoiler alert, I haven't seen it yet.
Have you not?
No,
sorry. I'm really
okay.
sorry.
I had a feeling you'd be there.
I
didn't think you should divorce him just because fucking Tennant shows up again, you know? Well, fuck you. I'm going off with this man, I barely remember. You know?
Yeah, so that stuff's all lovely.
Lovely.
So the plan... What was the fucking deal with that rich cunt and his daughter who had an obsession with the master?
What was the name of the book?
Fuck knows. that part of the story evades me. But there's a siren outside.
He was like some super rich dude that wanted to live forever. And
I know, but it's like they were seeking out the master. Why? They already had the machine.
Yeah, because he knew how to repair it because he's a Time Lord with knowledge. That does kind of make sense.
I suppose.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. That's quite concise.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. What I do really enjoy is like the stuff with Wilf on the TARDIS for the first time properly.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I thought it'd be cleaner. I could send you back home right now.
That's so
and them running around and them finding the cactus people. That's racist.
We're not
that's
Zocchi,
that's cacti.
Binbocchi.
But no, they're cool characters as well, in fairness, across both parts. They play a bigger role in part 2. But,
Shimmer!
That was fun. We should implement that somehow into the skit. Anyway,
I don't know he's wearing a shimmer. A what? Shimmer. And then she comes out.
I'm sorry, what's a shimmer? Shimmer!
Oh,
we're having too much
David
fun with
Tennant.
this, right? But yeah, part one is very run-aroundy, very very silly and slapstick. It's part 2 where the grit really comes in for the story that I enjoy. The cliffhanger is fun. It's a bit silly, but the cliffhanger's fun. God damn, John Sim got his fucking paycheck for this story.
Think
though.
what you're gonna look like
as me. He got so. I hope he got a bag from this story because holy shit! In like the closing like cliffhanger of part 1, there's like a collage of him like in so many different fucking outfits. There's him as the president. There's him as Joe Ordinary on the street corner.
President of the United States.
Yeah, I know. It was such a bonkers conclusion.
Yeah,
he was probably so sick of faking that laugh for the master at some was like, don't make me do it again. Yeah. What I didn't get is how he slipped himself into everyone's bad dreams at the start.
It was time. They explained it. It was echoing back through time. It was like a premonition that they were all sensitive to because it's such a big thing. It's like a big event in time.
Even though it ended up being nothing, just Gallifrey phased into Earth for a second.
The whole Gallifrey thing bugs me because later on they put Gallifrey in a pocket dimension as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fucky aboutiness of Gallifrey in general in the new series is so tiring to me. Like, they're killing it
hard to
off, they're
forget.
bringing it back, they're bringing it back, then killing it. I'm just like, fucking make up your mind. What
I
do you
liked it when it
want?
was gone because the last of the Time Lords.
It gave stakes to the Doctor's character and his survivor complex or whatever, survivor guilt or whatever. But yeah, so part 2. That's where the meat and potatoes of this thing is. I really enjoy the quieter moments on the ship where they're kind of stranded.
Where Wilf and the Doctor are talking
Oh,
as well.
the scene where he's trying to give him the gun is like, but I don't want you to die, take it. And the stuff where he
absolutely love
goes,
Bernard Cribbins.
he's gorgeous. And the bit where Tennant goes, I'd be proud if you were my dad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, my heart
Aw.
couldn't take it. My heart melted a bit when he said
I'm older
that.
than you know. Get away. I'm 906.
You look up your age, whatever he says that.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, and then the Gallifrey coming into it, it works, I suppose. I think what sells it is actually Tennant's reaction to the white point star.
Yeah,
Because he's like,
white point
and then he grabs the
star.
gun, and it's like, oh shit. And
It was. I remember watching it live and thinking, "Oh my god, the Time Lords are actually coming back. They're actually doing it."
yeah,
And
me
yeah,
too.
that felt good because it was Gallifrey was gone, and the people who basically invented and coveted and basically are time travel found a way out as they would, and it's all happening here and now. It felt like an actual experience the way it
I
was
agree.
written. Nowadays, I feel like Doctor Who's so fucking messy, you just
Mm.
can't keep it straight. But back then, it made sense.
It did.
And I was a kid when it came out.
serious.
So
It all felt.
I was
It all
9.
felt important, didn't it?
It
I think.
felt
What,
concise.
I think
It
what
felt
was really cool. I mean, the whole
believable.
thing with the Time War. It's kind of worn off on me at this point, but the mystique behind it was really cool, and watching this story brought me back to that.
Show don't
when-
tell is a good rule, but I really like the way they
kind of-
reveal details about the Time War just through Tennant talking to someone from the Time War that shouldn't
Yeah.
be there, saying you didn't see it.
You weren't there in
And
the
he-
last days of the war, and he's
he
talking
explains
about all these things about the
Nightmare
nightmare
Child,
child and the
Army of
army
Meanwhiles
that
and
never
never
were,
was,
and
who
I'm
could
just
have
like,
been king.
fuck me, this sounds really cool. I want to see it now.
The war
You know what I mean?
descended into hell.
Yeah, the war turned into hell, and I'm like shit. I want to watch that now. I really want
But
to.
leaving that up to the imagination, what the fuck is a nightmare child? What the fuck, and I'll get to that. What the fuck is a could have been king with an army of meanwhiles and never was? That's brilliant wordplay on time travel and probability and all that stuff of these
fucking
crazy
madness.
eldritch villains. Turns out the nightmare child's just a fat fucking Dalek, by the way. If you look it up.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
remind me. I'm really pissed at that.
I thought this was some massive beast.
Some
the
massive,
jaws
like-
of the nightmare child.
I
No,
was
just
gonna say like
Yeah.
some big fuck off time travel Cthulhu or some
Yeah.
bollocks. I would have.
no, it's just some fat Dalek, and the way that
Thanks, Big Finish.
And the way that he says to Davros in Journey's End,
Hmm.
I saw your ship fly into the jaws of the Nightmare Child. How the fuck can a ship full of Daleks and Davros fly into a fat Dalek? Killing the cannon once again.
I think
Through
as well,
the meat grinder.
The thing is with me and that, and when it comes to the obsession with only having, whenever on screen and in Big Finish, it seems as well, whenever they want to indulge us with any extra privy to the Time War, they only ever insert the Time Lords and the Daleks, and I'm like, well, the Sontarans were a part of it too. So were the Cybermen.
Sontarans weren't.
No, they weren't. No, but you know what I mean, though. It's
But
like
so were many other species.
many other species where you're only showing the devastation of the Time War on Skaro and on Gallifrey, and yet it's told that the repercussions of the Time War reached the whole of the universe at one
Exactly.
point. Why not show more of that?
Like, they also describe it later on as the war between the Time Lords and the Daleks, but it wasn't just the Time Lords and the Lords and the Daleks. They were the
weren't
two
the
sides.
only at play. They were
Exactly.
many more chess pieces.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's that rant over about the Time War. And it's such a shame that it got undone in Day of the Doctor, to be honest with you. I wish it kind of stuck. Especially with how Gallifrey ended up after the
Because
fact.
Day of the Doctor was at least tasteful in the way that it made Gallifrey still look like it exploded. But Gallifrey comes back from that moment during End of Time. Then it gets sent back into the Time War, and then Day of the Doctor happens. I get that, but it feels like three cop-outs for the sake of the same thing, bringing back Gallifrey.
And then Chibnall
two
decides
cop-outs,
to
sorry.
kill it off again, and it's like, just fucking...
It's really hot.
Yeah, I know. Make up your mind. Is Gallifrey back or not? You
Come
never...
on, Chibi.
Like, Moffat brought back... This is a rant about Moffat, but he brought back Gallifrey in Day of the Doctor and doesn't fucking use it except for in Hellbent. And Hellbent barely uses it. It really frustrates me still. Anyway.
Emerthalon, Redeemer. Ah!
Dusty old cunt.
We haven't actually gone through
So,
either
end of
episode,
time.
beginning to end yet.
End of time. No, but part 2, I'll quickly say. So, you're right down there.
Yep,
Please don't
just
break the
leaning.
guitar.
I won't. Just leaning.
So yeah, I loved all the stuff with his face off against Rassilon with the Master. That was great. Probably one of the best scenes for Tennant for me.
Absolutely.
When he's pointing the gun at either of them and he's trying to choose.
The link is in my head.
Yeah, it was just a very tense scene overall. I just enjoyed it. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the scenes and like scenes I missed out in the mentioning there?
I mean, I'm trying to think now.
I think the
Like
thing.
scenes you missed out. I'm trying to think.
I think the thing is what I kind of it's a bit overindulgent with like the farewell tour of the 10th Doctor after the fact when he kind of visits all the companions. I feel like it's a bit fan wanky to just kind of be like, oh, here are all the characters you missed.
What I liked about it, yeah, I did like that about it because at least it ushered in a new era, and the whole thing of Matt Smith not looking back, that was quite cool.
Right.
That was quite a smooth transition where you
suppose.
see Tennant turn into Smith. He's still wearing all the stuff, and then it's straight to Amy Pond. It's not, you don't see anyone in Matt's run from Tennant's era except when he's got the voice interface and Rose Tyler and Donna Noble and all that showing up.
Right.
Other than that, it moves on, but it doesn't forget him. That's what I like. So
I agree, actually.
seeing the companions for one last time in the context of Matt Smith is good, but at the time, yeah, I can understand that.
It was a bit self-indulgent, and it takes up like 20 minutes because it's an hour. Because this part 2 is an hour and like 15 or something, and Rassilon gets sent back to Gallifrey. I think the 55-minute mark, or near enough to that effect. And I'm like, dude, okay, now 20 minutes is spent on looking at these characters. I'm like, you could have done that in quicker succession, I think. But
I also
anyway,
like the way that they used the Sarah Jane Adventures again. It was her last scene in Doctor Who, where she's
in Doctor Who itself, it was, wasn't it?
The very last series was 2012. Sky, the character, was introduced. And
right, and then there were 2 episodes afterwards where Curse of Clyde Langer came out. Fucking excellent episode.
Fucking love.
We should actually review some Sarah Jane.
We should review the Curse of Clyde Langer.
That's a great episode.
That was fucking brilliant.
Anyway,
it was the totem. Yeah,
yes, and then there was one afterwards. I don't really remember, but anyway, doesn't matter right now. But yeah, we should review a Sarah Jane at some point. Yeah, so a bit elongated. It's a bit of a long farewell conclusion after
it
the
is,
fact.
but I like it.
But I do love the scene where the Doctor sacrifices himself for Wilf, where he goes in the chamber and he's like, "Don't!" And the Doctor's like, "Wilf, it's my honor."
And also, the other thing I really liked about that is the fact that he recognises that his hubris and his ego have completely ruined him as a person. He's like, I could do so much more, blah, 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 blah. His vanity getting in the way again, just like his previous regeneration.
It rewards rewatching.
During Journey's End.
It rewards rewatching because Waters of Mars sets all that up that you mentioned.
It really does.
Because he's Time Lord victorious and all that crap.
Like,
and then he gets to the end of time and he realises, no, it's time. He goes,
I did some things that went wrong. Yeah. He's saying that to Wilf because Wilf is that father figure, even though, God bless Wilf.
So what else is there to talk about with it? So the stuff that really irks me is just stuff of Lucy Saxon at the start. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so stupid. They could have brought him back in such a more creative way than doing a fucking ritual. I'm like,
something sci-fi, something timey-wimey.
Yeah.
Like, Doctor Who.
Maybe.
The show, Doctor Who. You ever heard of it?
No, never.
No. Cauldron, John Sim.
Never dying, never dying, never dying. Lucy, my ever favourite. You know what I do love seeing on screen is just John Sim. Even if like his portrayal is a bit weird, I love seeing his energy on screen. It's palpable. Lucy, my faithful. But the stuff in the Wasteland is cool, I guess. The stuff with Donna and Wilf and Sylvia is really fun. The stuff in the mansion is mostly cool. Maybe it's the bit where it kind of loses me a bit with the pacing.
The immortality gate and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's obviously just a MacGuffin to suit the episode's story, but that's fine. It's a means to an end for the story, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But like the rich man and the daughter just play no fucking semblance to the story. They have no stakes in this. I'm like, there's nothing really that happens to them that's of note.
I'm gonna look up what his name is if you want to talk to the camera.
I can't vamp anymore. I've been vamping this whole thing.
Joshua Naismith.
That's it.
What'd you buy me this for? Oh well, such a good recipient of gifts.
The plot point of yeah, I was about to say, don't give him fucking a present for Christmas. He'll say it's shit and he'll return it.
Unless it's a gun, because he wants one of them for Christmas.
Yeah, he does. He's a really good sharpshooter. But no, the plot with him getting visits from that woman.
The woman, I was just going to mention that, who everyone theorizes is the Doctor's mother.
Now retcons to be Tecteun or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Who's that?
It's Regeneration Woman. Tecteun.
Dude, chill.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah,
This Rassilon sounds, noble. Tecteun. Sounds like someone tripping over their words. I meant to say technology, guys. I'm sorry. Can I go to a universe where none of that ever happened?
Yeah, you're running on juice there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the better option.
So that woman arrives. We think it's the Doctor's mother,
but it's actually Tecteun.
And seeing her at the end is cool. It's a full circle moment where the Doctor meets her, and his reaction to her is interesting.
Yeah, and
but
that's
we never
where
read more into it. But...
No, but where she's like,
"Yeah,
sir,
bitch."
Hello. She is lots of people were saying that she could have been. Help me out here.
The other, or whatever they call it. No.
The granddaughter.
Oh, Susan.
Susan.
Really? Oh. I think people theorise she was the Rani or something as well, though.
That's another good point.
I mean, the thing is, though, with the Doctor Who community, they see a woman Time Lord and they immediately go, Rani! Every single time.
Yeah.
With Missy, that was the case. With
that kind of makes sense, though, because the Rani could have a vendetta against the Doctor.
But you know what I mean? It's just like an obsession with the Rani and her eventually returning. But that's why they won't bring her back, because everyone keeps fucking asking for her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway,
keep them wanting. They've already ruined the Gallifrey thing. Why not keep one of them pure?
Yeah.
All in all, though, I think it's really good, and I liked. Was it Timothy Dalton?
Oh,
I loved his portrayal of Rassilon.
Great.
Great.
He is amazing at this.
They will stand.
I am Rassilon. I run the local supermarket.
Now I need to die. For fuck's sake. He was also James Bond, in case you weren't sure.
Great. Anyway, yeah. No, his portrayal is brilliant. I like they didn't overuse him either. Short but sweet.
Yep.
He was only in the cliffhanger and then in the bits that he is in part 2. He isn't overstays welcome. He's probably the best Rassilon, though we haven't had many good ones or many in general. He's a good
3,
portrayal.
4.
I think there's 1 or 2 cameos in the classic series.
Then there's old Rassilon,
who's not my favourite.
Hellbent. Was it Hellbent or Heaven Sent?
Hellbent.
Hellbent.
Yeah.
The letter.
Overall, it's very silly in part 1. Which maybe why the 2 parts feel a bit. I mean, also part 1.
You have too much stuff.
You fidget. This stuff is fine until you arrived. I think as a swan song for Tennant, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I like how underwhelming his death is. As in, he could have gone out in a blaze of glory and gone, I don't want to go.
Even though he kind of did anyway when he did his farewell tour to visit all the companions. But he didn't
go out fighting. Like when the Daleks shot him in Journey's End, or sorry, Stolen Earth.
Yeah.
You could have believed that as Tennant's End. Action packed, he's the running action Doctor. I'm doing lots of running,
Yeah.
But for him to sacrifice himself for Wilf,
it's a fitting end.
In a much less combative way. I like that.
I do too. I think it's really good. And granted, even though it was too long, I keep mentioning it. It was nice to see all the companions at the end.
It was.
And John Sim is great, even if his portrayal in this story is a bit goofy for me.
Yeah.
It's still really nice to see him because he is a great master.
Absolutely.
And I like that he isn't the same as his other episodes.
I love him in Capaldi's as well.
In Capaldi's one, he's very much like a Roger Delgado. In his first one, he's his own thing. But then in this one, he's way more unhinged. He's a way more unhinged version of his portrayal in Sound of Drums, So I think there's a John Sim for everyone.
There is a John Sim in all of us.
It's not anywhere near my favourite Tennant story, but it's not a dreadful one. I used to not like it very much for its goofiness, but now I'm just like,
leave it alone.
Yeah, just
Leave End of Time alone.
lighten up a bit. You know, it's just a bit.
If
of
it had all
harmless
ended
fun.
with Journey's End, that would have been. You see what I mean about it being an action-packed Tennant ending, you know? But I'm glad it didn't, and I'm glad he had a proper ending that was intentional. It wasn't just the easy target of let's have a massive war, kill off the Doctor in a blaze of glory because he's everyone's favourite actor to ever have played the character, so much so that they brought him back for absolutely no reason at all. And then have another Doctor come in and finish the story. Like, that would have sucked. To have him sacrifice himself for Wilf, who's someone he really cares about and respects, I like that.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I will reiterate though that it does set off Matt Smith on a bad footing because it paints Tennant as like a martyr or something, and when the new Doctor comes, it's he'll never live up to him. Thank God Smith does live up to him and then surpass him in some people's opinions.
Mine included.
Mine included as well.
I think he's a much more complex Doctor, but I don't think he could have done that without Tennant before him.
No,
he builds on
needed
it.
to expand on what Tennant had done already to really make it work.
Putting the two together in Day of the Doctor was the evidence you needed that they were the same person. Without his portrayal, it wouldn't have been possible for him to do what he did, because he is like the next natural step from what Tennant left off with.
Right, that will probably do it for me. I haven't got anything else to say.
I'd say if we were to give it out of 10, I'd give it an 8. Like,
Probably a 6 for me.
I don't know if they could have done more with it, but
I think they maybe did a bit too much to it, personally. I mean, it just feels... There were a lot of ideas, and they all kind of worked together, but it's kind of like, a square fitting in a rectangle spot. Like, it kind of works,
yeah.
but not perfectly for me.
Yeah, again, they could have done it in a blaze of glory. They could have gone with
No, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad that it's more subdued, more subtle.
and fitting, and, you know, again, not an easy target. It was just a proper ending, proper death with a meaning.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, hey, let's blow him up.
It's a nice quiet moment.
Yeah, and then have another Doctor finish his story. They could have done that, but they didn't. I'm very pleased that they didn't.
Yeah, it's a decent one though. It's not dreadful. I definitely enjoyed it a lot more on this rewatch than I have in previous. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, go give it a watch.
If
It's not bad.
It's been a while for you. Yeah, give it another try. You might be surprised.
Yeah.
Got to stop the smell, the stink, the filthy stink. You can smell me.
Okay.
Dinner time. Goodbye.
Dinner time. Subscribe. Ooh.
That's so fucked.
I don't like
Fuck's
that.
sake.
Get out.